ahead and call to order the meeting of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners. The invocation and pledge of allegiance this morning will be given by Vice Chairman William H. Pate.
Let's bow our heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, please bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and our hearts so that we will work for the good of our county, our state, and our nation. May we be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Please rise and place the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, on the approval of the minutes, do I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
Motion to approve.
All right, a motion on the floor to approve. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. That passes unanimously. Any adjustments to the agenda? Mr. Wood.
We have the one item to add as number 7 under new business, and that is for the chairman to authorize the chairman to appoint the working group to review and make recommendations to the full board on noise, junk cars, and the housing code. And again, this was one of your goals for the year, so we need to get this group constituted so we can move forward with that.
Okay, are there any other adjustments? Okay, being none, it's not quite 9:15. We're going to move over to the Appointments Committee. Commissioner Gurley. Oh, I'm sorry. I just skipped right over that, didn't I? Special recognition. We have got a presentation of a retirement plaque to Kim Wells in Human Resources. And see, Geraldine's right on time.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have the honor this morning of recognizing Kim Wells, who recently celebrated her 25th anniversary with the county and retired with us on December 31st. She has served in several capacities during her tenure with the county, including Animal Control, Department of Social Services, and for the past several years as Recruitment and Retention Coordinator for Human Resources. Kim also has one daughter, Nikki, who is part of the county family in the Register of Deeds office. We wish her well as she begins this new chapter in her life, and please join me in congratulating Kim Wells. Well, Kim, let me present this to you, and it says, presented to Kim Wells, Human Resources, in appreciation of dedicated service as a county employee, October 8, 1990 to December 31st, 2015. The County of Wayne, North Carolina. Congratulations.
I will. And if you join us right here for a photo, front and center. Thank you.
So I'm going to set in.
Okay, now on to the Appointment Committee. Commissioner Gurley, if you got any appointments this morning?
Yes. The appointment committee met this morning. We'd like to recommend the reappointment of Sanford L. Corson and Thomas Parks Azale to the Wayne County Transportation Committee, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion on the motion? Being none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That passes unanimously.
Next, we'd like to recommend the reappointment of Kenneth R. Lee to the Mount Olive Board of Adjustment, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there any discussion on the motion? Being none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Okay, that passes unanimously.
And our last one is I'd like to recommend the reappointment of Kendall Lee to the Mount Olive Planning Board, and I'd like to put that in form of a motion.
Okay. All those in favor of that motion, I'm sorry, is there any discussion on the motion? Being none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That passes unanimously.
That concludes.
Okay, that takes care of all the appointments. We are now going into public comment. At this time, anyone that would have any public comment, if you could step to the microphone and give us your name and your phone number, and give us any comment that you might have at this time.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good
My name is
morning.
John Williams, 103 Trappers Run Drive here in Goldsboro, Bolingbrook subdivision, 919-580-0371. And the reason I'm here today is I know we're on discussion that's been talked about, and that is the Canterbury roads as well as North Point. I live in Bolingbrook. We've had the same problem for some time. All those subdivisions out there have the same problem. One of my concerns is we've gone through the fix with the streetlights, and I appreciate Mr. Mayo's help there on getting our streetlights back after we were de-annexed from Goldsboro. And that was a good thing, by the way, because all we were doing was spending money and getting this zero in return, basically. The roads wouldn't be any better today anyway, in that regard. However, my concern down the road here is if we do go into this process, number one is how we go about picking the contractor that's going to come in. Number two, and most importantly, long-term, is the DOT here in the state going to take over these roads? I know there's been talk about how we can pay for it all at one time once we get our assessment on each person beside the road, or we're at a 10-year point. But my whole thing is the state actually going to take over? Are we going to have something in place that's going to say the state's going to take this over once these roads are fixed? Two very important things, but that was the most important. Because the state hasn't taken anything over there, mainly because, I hate to say it, but this body, not you all, but the body prior 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, this body has not had the planning in place to take care of it. Contractors and developers were allowed to go in there and put only an inch, half inch, 1 inch of asphalt down. State wouldn't take it over. We knew it back then. I don't know where we're at right now with the new developments we're putting in. And along with that, what about infrastructure? Now, I've lived all over this country. Infrastructure here is very important. What I see out in the northern end of this county is that we have all this development going on. I don't know if we're going to have the same problem with these guys down the road because the state won't take it over. But I do know that where schools are concerned, I've got district out there where you are, Mr. Mayo. We have a problem with trailers going up everywhere because we didn't plan ahead. We got a brand new Northwest school out there that's got trailers. Why is that? Because we haven't planned properly. And infrastructure isn't planned properly. And I hate to say it, but I just think the developers have run too much around here. They've had way too free of a go of it. And we've got to do something in plan. We also got to do something as far as the planning department and also looking at we're checking on things and we're actually putting a stamp of approval on. I know we've gotten better in that regard lately, but over the time, or at least the last 20 years that I've been here, we haven't done a real good job of watching what the developers have been doing. We've been letting things go. The other thing about just the roads, I'll tell you right now, and I'm sure you're all aware of it to some degree, the sewer problem up there. We're developing. Long term, you just can't keep putting waste products into the soil and expect that your water, i.e. the water we drink and the deep wells, will stay clean. We have to start thinking about sewage up there. I mean, we start all these new developments, we have to look at that. Just long-term health of the county. And that's just what I want to bring to your attention today, and thanks much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? If there's no other comments, then we're going to close the public comment section. I would like, and it's kind of rare to do this, but I'm going to ask Mr. Wood to at least give us some comments and some assurances to the general public regarding the fact of the roads being taken over by the state.
Okay. Well, in answer to that question, we have met with the DOT, and Mr. Harrell is here today, the district engineer. They have assured us that if we follow the markup that they do on the roads, that they will take those over. And we've stressed that to them, that we don't want to move forward without that. And state law does require that we have to have their approval before we move forward. So we're working all that out on the front end. Giles, is there anything you want to add to that?
No,
We're going to let you come up, Giles, and speak to our microphone. And by the way, thank you for being here today.
yes, sir. I will say that I'm not prepared to speak today. I wanted to come and attend and just see, based on our conversations I've had with you and the rest of the commissioners, what has been taking place at these meetings, and I wanted to hear for myself and make sure that if there is something else that I need to address that I'd not anticipated, that I'll be able to address it. I do plan on attending I believe it's January 19th. Is it 19th meeting? Is the next one?
Yes.
I do plan on attending there. Mr. Wood and Mr. Burns and I will be meeting later this week to discuss our processes and getting these roads taken over and getting them put under contract and out for bid and having the repairs made that are necessary for the roads that have been petitioned. So we're working on our process. We're going to be evaluating the roads that have already been petitioned in the next 2 weeks and coming up with some bid items and a package that can go to bid and put out for contract. And once under contract, if the citizens within the subdivision decide they want to continue on with the process once under contract, we will be performing the inspection as well. So we'll also have that put in place. So we're going to make sure that it is an acceptable product at the end of the day, and we'll be taking the street over for any assessments and tax assessments that are made in order to make necessary street repairs.
And the one
Thank
other
you
thing,
so much.
I think one of your other questions was, how would we be assured of the contractors? One of the things we're going to do is require that they be on DOT's approved contractor list. So they've done work with them before.
So we are, in fact, taking every step possible to make sure that once we complete the project, that the street will, in fact, be taken over by NCDOT. But just want to make sure of that. I appreciate you so much.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for stepping right on up there.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
Okay, moving along here, and I apologize for taking that out of order, but I did want to stop any misconception that may be out there as my microphone is whining. Okay, moving along here to consent agenda. There are 4 items on our consent agenda today. First one would be the establishment of a meeting of the Wayne County Board of Adjustment on February the 2nd to handle 2 items, and one is to receive public comment on the special use permit for the proposed solar facilities of Will Fork Solar LLC, and the other one is to receive public comments on proposed solar facilities of Robin Solar LLC. Mr. Chip, would you like to make some comment on that? I'm sorry, Chip, I should call you Mr. Crumpler, shouldn't I?
Yes, sir. We have 2 applications for solar farm special use permits. These farms are located within the airspace controlled surface area for Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. And by our current solar ordinance, a special use permit is required. So you will be taking action to schedule that meeting. We'll post a notice on site by sign. We'll post a notice in the newspaper, and we'll notify adjoining property owners of that meeting, and they can come to that meeting and oppose it or speak for it. But you do have 2 cases there, Will Fork and Robin Solar.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Crump? Okay, moving on to the third item, and that was the application for a 2015 elderly and disabled property tax exclusion.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's in order. The gentleman just wasn't aware of the deadline, so he's asking for you to grant this exclusion.
All right, and then the budget amendments with our new finance director. Welcome.
We have the first one, number 225, is for $719.41. This is for the sheriff's office. This was an insurance refund we received in error from the insurance company. We're returning that. Number 228 for the sheriff's office, $726.62, and this is insurance proceeds received. Number 229, $2,128.75 for the sheriff's department. This is insurance proceeds. Number 230 for $7,000. This is moving money for the COPE program and the crime prevention program for the sheriff's department. Number 232, $10,998.58 for the sheriff's department. This is insurance proceeds received. Number 233 for $2,203. This is for services on aging. This is a supplement to the SHIP grant, and there are no county funds involved with that. Number 240 for $43.02. This is for the controlled substance receipts in the sheriff's department. And then number 241 for the sheriff's department, $100, and this is for donation monies received.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Everybody read that.
Okay, everybody's making that motion. Motion made by Commissioner Pate. Any discussion on that? Being none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That's a unanimous vote. Under new business, motion to approve the final subdivision plat of Plantation Point, Section 1. Mr. Crumpler.
Okay, we have subdivision plat approval before you. It's Plantation Point, Section 1. Owner developers J&N Developers. Dan Butler is the surveyor. Brian Jones is the engineer. It's located in the Indian Springs Township of Sleepy Creek Road, SR 1120. It's lots 1 through 16 with one street that is Padstone Court. Like I say, there are 16 lots, 3 open space areas. It is located 1/2 mile west of the intersection of Arrington Bridge Road. It is zoned outer horizontal for height restrictions only. Average lot size is 20,594 square feet. They will utilize public water. It is shown within the rural enclave area on the Wayne County Growth Strategy Map. Improvements are completed and NCDOT built to standards letter has been submitted to the county. The developer has also signed a statement on the plat regarding the maintenance of the street and right-of-way until it is accepted onto the secondary road system. The property is within the service districts of Spring Creek High School, Spring Creek Middle, Spring Creek Elementary. It is within the water district for Southeast Wayne. It is located within the Indian Springs Fire Department and the EMS Station 8 for emergency services. It is within the Goldsboro MPO for transportation planning. There are no water supply watershed rules in place, no voluntary ag districts in place, no wetlands, and it's in Board of Commissioners District 6. The Wayne County Planning Board recommends that the plat be approved.
Is there any questions of Mr. Crumpler? The only question that I had was, I saw where you said you had 3 open spaces, and I saw only one back there in the rear, but actually they're on the very front of here.
Correct.
Why would those be?
It's a buffer between the road and the first lots in the subdivision.
Is that a requirement now?
No, sir.
Okay, so
It's
it's
just a
not.
developer driven.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the final subdivision plat for Plantation Point, Section 1?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
A motion made by Commissioner Bell. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That is a unanimous vote in approval. Thank you. Item 2 is motion to approve job reclassification in Wayne County Sheriff's Office and Detention Center.
Mr. Chairman, I went over in pretty good detail with you this morning, how we've structured this change in the pay plan. There are two sections here. One is for the detention reclassification, the other is for the sheriff's operating departments, or the enforcement reclassifications. If you like, I can go back through that, or we can just move forward with it. Sheriff Pierce is here. If you have any questions or comments of him.
I say move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Commissioner Aycock has made a motion of approval. Is there any discussions or questions of the sheriff? Oh, the sheriff is not here.
He stepped out.
He stepped out. Okay.
Tom went out.
Tom went after it. Is there any comments? The only comment I would like to make, and that is that this is a result of an extensive months of effort on the part of Human Resources, the Sheriff's Department, County Manager's Office, in reviewing our pay here in our county to ensure that our law enforcement, in this case, is in fact competitive with our adjoining areas and our competitors, so to speak. We must be able to retain our best and most qualified personnel here. And this is something that this board had agreed to last year, that we would, on a systematic basis, go through and do an analysis of the pay plan and the schedule. And this is the first of several to come. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would want to attempt to use about 10 seconds of my 2 minutes. Just wanted to add to the comments that were made earlier. I had asked Sheriff about how many folk were involved, and I think the number we came up with was about 185 people involved in this particular plan. The thing that I want to say is that I hope this morning that some parts of 185 families will see a result of the hard work that's put in to at least raise the salaries as reflected on this page. Not to continue to beat a horse, but employees need wages to be able to afford things for their folk, who will give them opportunities to level the playing field. And I just want to say, I've made these comments before, Wayne County needs to do everything we can to raise the standard of living for everyone, so that when our children go to school, they will have a more level playing field. The only way you can do that is to increase the salaries for folk who provide that kind of thing for them. So thank you very much for these 185, and to the Human Resource Department. Thank you.
Commissioner Kamari, I do want to point out that was more than 10 seconds. Yes, Commissioner Aycock.
I just want to personally thank Mr. Wood, Tommy, Geraldine, Sheriff Mayo for working on this. I know y'all put a lot of hours in it. And I just want to thank y'all for doing this. It's going to be very beneficial to our employees, and I look forward for y'all working on some of the other departments, because we've realized or know that we have an issue here, and not only is this going to benefit the families from more income, I think the biggest asset is going to be retention for good employees for the county. I think that's I just want to thank y'all for the hard work that you put into it.
Okay, being no other discussions, all those in favor of Commissioner Aycock's motion to approve signify by raising your right hand. That is unanimous approval. Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I'd like to introduce, if I may.
Sure.
You,
step right on up to our microphone.
Also, thank you for the consideration, along with the county manager's office and HR. We appreciate that so much. Your deputy this morning is Deputy Darren Craig. He is a very seasoned deputy. He'll be at your disposal today, and just want to introduce him. I think it's his first time being up here with you, but he has about 16 years experience, so he'll be very of value to you if you need him.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, moving along, our next item is item 3, motion to approve recommendations of the Advanced Manufacturing Center. And we have 2 guests with us today, and we welcome you.
Thank you so much. I don't think I'm necessarily a stranger to any of you, but Kay Albertson, President at Wayne Community College, and joining me for discussion today is Vice President of Administrative Services, Mr. Don Magoon. I don't think there's any question, as I look at your faces, that you have been tremendous support for the concept of an advanced manufacturing center as an economic and workforce motivator for Wayne County, and we truly do appreciate that. A little over a year ago, you provided the approval for the center, and as slow as progress has appeared to be at times, progress has been made on the Advanced Manufacturing Center. I hope that if you haven't seen the insides of that center for the last numbers of months, that you have the opportunity in the very near future to go in to see it, because a lot of renovation repair has been made. It looks very different. It's inviting. But today we're here to talk about some of the new needs and for some of the future projections for the center. You've been provided in your package a total breakdown of expenses and funding sources for facilities and grounds, equipment, furniture, and grand totals for the Advanced Manufacturing Center project over the next 5 years. We have spent a lot of time with thinking about these phases. I should mention that the figures and the phases have been vetted through Mr. Wood, Kendall Lee, and members of the Facilities Committee of the Commission. And we truly appreciate your attention to details, the questions that were asked that made Wayne Community College members stand back and think through what really needed to be done. And we appreciate Wayne County's Facility Services part in completing phases 1 and 3. We'll be happy to answer questions, but at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Magoon to talk to you about phase 1 and 3, which is what our current needs are for funding and completion, and then to give you a brief overview of the next phases. And again, we'll be happy to answer any questions at that time.
Good morning.
Morning.
On the bottom of the screen, you'll see phase 1 there, and it's supposed to be blue, but I'm not sure what you call that color.
It's blue.
That is the front office area of the facility. It will house the Business and Industry Center, the Small Business Center, the Military Business Center, our Customized Industry Training, and our Works Program and Soft Skills Training components. Phase 3 is the green area, and you'll see to the left there's some interior spaces that are common areas for our students. At the bottom left of that green area would be a lounge and multi-purpose room for the students. Just above that is a computer lab, an open computer lab for them to spend time when they're needing to study between classes. And then to the right of that area are the main restrooms. So we want to get those done early in the project if we can, before we start bringing students in. Over on the right side, you'll see some more exterior aspects that we loaded into phase 3 that encompass that student entrance to make it as inviting and welcoming as possible. There's also some infrastructure projects included in phase 3, including things like updating some of the lighting fixtures out in that main plant area there where the future educational programs are going. Those kinds of things are best done before you start putting things under them. So that's why we put them in early in phase 3. Also in phase 3, there's some exterior upfits, including parking lot repairs, exterior lighting, that sort of thing. So that's phase 1 and phase 3. And through our work sessions with you folks, It's my understanding that we would like the facilities services for Wayne County to do most of that interior work. I think that'll save us money, and it'll certainly save us time. So we thank you for putting that on your agenda this morning. In addition, in your packet that you were provided today, there's some more information on the remaining phases. Phase 2 would encompass our welding program, where we train future welders, and we moved that up to Phase 2 because of some grant opportunities that came about. So Phase 2 would be the welding program. Phase 3, we just talked about. Phase 4 is our heating and air conditioning program, and that's over on the left side of the chart there, on the east side of the building. Phase 5 would be our mechanical engineering program. Phase 6 would be industrial systems and mechatronics. Phase 7 is computer integrated machining. And then if we need additional classrooms, we would add those at that time. That would be for us to put English and math and history and other things out there besides the applied technologies programs. And then Phase 8 incorporates a number of other items, including final upfits for things like the shipping and receiving dock and various service areas. In your packet, we've given you the breakdown of costs by year and the costs by funding source, to include our Wayne Community College Fund, state funds, that sort of thing. The Impact Wayne private investment group of the Wayne County Development Alliance, county funds, grants, and the NC Connect bond funds, which we hope will pass this March. Phases 4 through 7 have some heavier costs associated with them. That's when we'll have to build classroom and lab space, incur more expense for electrical service, getting to all the equipment, that kind of thing. So I'd be glad to answer questions about the phases.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments? Commissioner Mayo?
I just have a question. You have the computer integrated machining to be moved as number 7.
Yes.
And my only question there is that when you're moving heavy equipment, it takes a lot of room for riggers and stuff to move equipment in. Being that you're doing number 6 and some of the other areas around the machine shop, is that going to be a hindrance on moving the machinery in?
I do not think so, because if you look up in what I'm showing is the welding area, Phase 2, there is a dock on the west side of the building, and there's a main aisle that goes straight through from that dock down to that machining center that I've listed there as Phase 7.
Yeah, I'm sort of wondering why
So-
you saved the hardest to last.
Well, it's also going to be one of the most expensive moves that we have to do as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And Mr. Mayo, it also involves some regulatory issues that we felt like we had to get through prior to moving something that could have some potential, it won't, but could have some potential environmental impact. And it was recommended to us that as we move through our brownfield agreement with the environment being reviewed at this particular time, that we save that to last. We've looked at a lot of different issues, and we've had a lot of input from a number of people, so.
And I'm sure you have.
But I think one of the things, and your points are well taken though, that had been our first priority, is to get machining there. What we're hoping, based upon funding and any other regulatory issue that might come forward, is that we can be flexible with these phases. They're not written in stone. In fact, we're hoping that we can move not necessarily Phase 1 and 2, we're doing 1 and 3 at this point, but that we could conjoin some of these phases and do more at one time. We hope that that would be more efficient. But as we looked at funding and looked at the labor and looked at what we have to do to meet regulations, we've developed the 8 phases.
Good job, thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Kamara?
Approximately, and maybe I didn't hear it, but approximately do you think that the actual training of welders and heating HVAC will actually take place?
That should commence by fall semester of 2016, easily.
Okay, any other questions? Comments?
Just, Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Acock.
I don't want anybody to think that I'm against the Advanced Manufacturing Center, but I just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing at the right time. I have some concerns right on some of the figures. I feel like that in the beginning, the figures that we were presented were not high enough. And to move forward with this project, we're gonna have to come up with some more money. And I just want, as I expressed the other day at the college, we don't need to count this bond money until we get it. I feel, or the governor feels confident, and I think the bond will pass, but until March, when it comes to a vote. So I just want to be very careful on how we spend the money. I want to make sure that this facility is functional, will work. Naturally, I want it to look appealing, but the stress for what we do needs to be put on the inside to benefit the students and not necessarily benefit the outside of the building. I want to be very fruitful in how we spend the money on this project. I'm for the project now.
Absolutely.
But I just don't want for it to get out of control.
Absolutely. And we know that you received some drafts and some projected figures a while back, and a lot of that included wish lists. There's no question about it. We would never deny that. That is not what is included in your package currently. These are figures, as you well know, that have been looked at. We got down into the weeds, and that's, I'm a big picture person with this type of thing. It's not necessarily something that I even understand all of these pieces, but we got down in the weeds. So we have whittled this down as much as we possibly can, but we understand this is going to be a functional area, not a Taj Mahal in any way. But I think it should be said also that completing this front office complex, which will house the Works Initiative and Small Business Center and customized training and the soft skills training, that's a front door experience for any business that might be looking at Wayne County and wanting to see what we actually do in reference to training. And this doesn't have to be long-term training. This can be short-term training. We fully expect to see continuing education, short-term training occurring at this facility, just as we do earning degrees, certificates, and diplomas. And so when they come in that door, there's got to be, as we all know, a first impression. And this is going to be why we're putting so much emphasis on improvements of carpet and paint and bathrooms in that front area. But when we get to that manufacturing floor and individuals who come to look at Wayne County, to look at our workforce and to look at our workforce preparation, when they go through that facility and see the equipment and see the skills of those instructors that we're paying for with state money, and certainly the equipment with state and grant funding, they're going to be absolutely amazed. We're already doing it, we'll do more of it.
Okay, Commissioner, if I can, Commissioner Lake.
I'm kind of following up on what Ben said a while ago. On the timetable moving over there, the public needs to bear in mind that you just can't pick up during the middle of a semester and you move.
Correct.
It's not that it'll take that long to get the building ready, but you got to wait till your semester's over or pretty near to the end of it before you can just start picking up moving your equipment. So
That's
not
right.
sure everybody understands
That's right.
that.
We'll have to do, there are moves that can be made as the semester goes on, but moving of manufacturing equipment, that type of thing will have to be done in the summer semester.
Okay,
No question
Commissioner
about it.
She answered my question. I was going to go ahead and make a motion that we accept the recommendation for approval of 8 phases, hiring an architect by Wayne Community College, and immediate renovation work in phases 1 and 3 by Wayne County Facility Services, and I make that in the form of a motion.
We do have a motion on the floor, but discussion is now open, and Commissioner Cromartie.
My one question remaining was, I know that we are depending, well, at some point, we're depending on the bond that was alluded to.
Correct.
If that, hopefully the bond will pass, but if that bond did not pass, how would that affect the 2016 projection that you talked about for the actual training and the heating and air conditioning and welding and so forth?
We could potentially move forward with the heating and the air conditioning and refrigeration program. It will significantly impact anything else with the other moves for programs. We are looking right now at being able to move HVAC because of what we already have there, but also because we've got a grant out there in the wings someplace that we're keeping our fingers crossed that we would get the funding for. That would even help us not only with equipment, but with infrastructure. But it is extremely important that we have the bond passed.
But that, so the bond or the grant not availing themselves would not prevent the 2016.
With the heating and the air conditioning. We could still move it. We would not be able to build capacity in the way that we want to, and basically by 50% by moving to a larger facility. And if we got the grant, then we would have more equipment to do that with. But we could actually implement the current welding program that we have right now. We could implement it there, yes.
And where you say that you have right now, it's operating at Wayne Community
That
College
is correct.
site.
That is correct, on the main campus.
Okay,
That is
Commissioner
correct.
Aycock.
Yes, I am going to repeat just a little bit what I said earlier. Apologize for that, Mr. Chairman. I want to, the Board of Trustees of the college has got a work session the 29th, all-day work session. I just want to make sure, and I used an example earlier in our briefing, the county commissioners and the Board of Education just built 2 new schools. The superintendent of schools did not make that decision. The Board of Education and the county commissioners made the decision. Same with the jail. With building a new jail, the county manager did not make the decision to build that jail. It was the Board of Commissioners. And I just want to make sure that the Board of Trustees of the college is fully informed on what's going on. I'm not saying that they hadn't been, but I got a sense that they are not as informed as the previous boards that we've worked with. I just want to make sure that the Board of Trustees of the college are involved in this and know what's going on, know the dollars that's going on. I want the Board of Trustees to be involved and have all of the facts and figures to move forward with this project. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and just one final comment, and that is, I want to thank both of you for your involvement of finding a way in a collaborative effort to accomplish this at a lesser amount, a lesser dollar amount. After all, we are all in this to make sure that we can accomplish our goal with the least amount of impact to our taxpayers.
Absolutely.
And we've done that, and I just applaud you all for agreeing that the way to accomplish phases 1 and 3 was actually to partner with the facilities department here in the county. Let's get the job done. Let's move forward. So I want to commend you on that. There is a motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Being none, all those in favor of the motion that was made by Commissioner Mayo signify by raising your right hand. It is unanimous vote. We're moving
Thank you so
forward.
much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You won't be disappointed. Thank you so
great.
much.
Thank you. All right, our next item is item 4, which is a motion to approve preliminary assessment and resolution for Canterbury Village and North Creek subdivisions, Wayne County, North Carolina.
Okay.
Good that it's here in our county.
Mr. Chairman, this is the next step in moving forward with this project. Under state law, you're to adopt a preliminary assessment resolution. All of the criteria that's in state law is included in this. I've had the county attorney review it as well as the planning director. We believe we've included everything that's necessary. The primary things are when you get down past all the whereases, you get to section 1. The biggest thing you're doing is, number 1, the board hereby declares its intent to undertake this project. So that's the main thing. Then you have a general description of the project in section 2. Section 3 is you're establishing the basis for making the assessments, and that shall be the number of buildable lots abutting any of the streets within the project area at an equal rate per buildable lot. Section 4, the Board of Commissioners intends to specially assess to cover 100% of the cost of the work, and that's a requirement in state law. You have to set out the percentage you're going to do. Section 5, the Board of Commissioners intends that none of the special assessments for this project will be held in abeyance or delayed. Section 6 gets into the actual payment of assessments. Payment of assessments may be made fully within 30 days after the date that notice of confirmation of the assessment roll is published, or in the alternative, any portion of an assessment not paid within the 30-day period shall be paid in 10 equal annual installments. The first installment with interest is due on the date when property taxes are due, and one installment with interest is due on the same date in each successive year until the assessment is paid in full. And the interest rate we're recommending for those installments to you is 5% per annum on any outstanding balance. Section 7, the Board of Commissioners hereby adopts an order setting February 2nd, 2016 at 9:30 a.m. here in this meeting room as the date, time, and location for the public hearing to discuss this matter. So any of the property owners can come in and do that. Section 8, the clerk to the board is hereby directed to provide the notices of this preliminary resolution. And those notices are two things. One, we will be publishing a notice in the paper, and Ms. Wilson has already prepared that, and it's ready to go to the paper. The second one is each one of these property owners will be given by first-class mail a copy of that advertisement along with this resolution. So everybody will be on legal notice that the hearing is taking place, anybody that's affected by it.
If I might, the only question that I had was under Section 6 on the payment of the assessment.
Right.
Is it necessary for us to have in this resolution that the assessment is transferable or assumable by subsequent property owners?
I don't believe it is because it's in the statute, I believe.
And it will be recorded in the Register of Deeds office, so anybody doing a title will know that it's assessment on that.
Well, that the assessment is there, but that it does flow.
It goes with the property.
It goes with the property, but some assessments need to be paid off at the time of closing and others do not. Would this assessment not?
This would not have to be.
Would not have to be. So you're saying the statute actually covers that?
That's right. He's put on notice that it's there, but he doesn't have to pay it off. But he's on notice that he has to assume it.
Okay. All right, I just.
And we'll also be billing them.
Okay, well, I'm sure you're going to be billing them. We just wanted to make sure that we wouldn't hold up them selling their property.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, we've gone through that. Is there a motion by anyone in regards to the approval, or is there any discussion on this?
Mr. Chairman.
I guess if I could, I did want to point out one thing. If y'all recall, we're going to do a second resolution over and above what the statute calls for, and that's when we get public hearing. That's when we get the estimates back. And the DOT has been working very closely with us on that, and their plan is to have that to us the end of January, but we wouldn't have it in time for this. This is the first one.
Sure.
And then we'll hold a second one after we've been able to review all of those cost estimates and everything. But they are starting that work next week, I believe is what Mr. Harrell told me. So everything seems to be falling in place on this. But again, at this first one, you don't have the cost estimates. I wanted you to be clear about that. It's just your intent to move forward with the project and to get them to do the work, which they're already going ahead and doing because of the meetings we've had, preliminary meetings we've had with them. So everything is moving forward on schedule at this point.
Okay, Mr. Mayor. Go
I
ahead.
just wanted, for the audience and the residents that's watching, the purpose in that second public hearing is, after you get the figures, is to give them the opportunity to say, yes, we want to move forward, or no, we don't want to move forward. The decision will be up to the property owner, not this board. That's the purpose, and that's adding that second public hearing. And so they are completely in charge of whether this project moves forward at that point or not.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mayo.
I just made the motion, but I wanted to say that there's been a lot of hard work put into this, and I want to thank everybody concerned. We're moving forward finally, but I think the gentleman that spoke at the public hearing, a public time this morning, I've been thinking about what you're saying. We probably want to think very seriously about looking at any kind of documentation and rules for subdivision development, because all of us are concerned that this never happens in Wayne County in the future again, because we know why all this is taking place. What can we do to prevent this in the future? I think that probably should come up to the surface as a priority real soon, because otherwise 30 years from now we're going to have the same problem.
Yeah.
So it's just a comment that we need to look at that.
Let me address that a little bit. We are in the process of Chip's making some amendments to the ordinance, which he's taken through the planning board. The issue we have is the biggest stumbling block for us really is a state policy. And as y'all know, the state is doing a study with DOT on their policies affecting taking over roads. And I think we need to have some input when that policy is under discussion, because the real issue is the state's policy on when they'll take these over, because it's that gap in time between when the developer finishes the project and when the state takes it over that we have the problem. And the difference is for cities like Goldsboro, when Goldsboro takes a street over into the city, they take it over at the time a subdivider finishes it. So there's no gap. And they have a warranty for 1 year with the contractor. So that's why cities in the state don't have this problem, but counties do. So the real issue is we've got to address the issue of the state's policy on this delay in taking them over.
Okay. Now, did I understand you to say that you had a motion on the floor?
Yeah, I made a motion.
So you have moved.
A few minutes ago for approval.
Would you restate your motion?
Before we
Okay.
have a comment.
Okay, sure.
I'll ask a question.
Commissioner Mark.
I won't clarify something. I won't just for myself, but whenever you talk about the work that the state is doing, work means a lot of different things to a lot of different folks. But are we talking about the punch list of what it takes to?
They've actually gone the extra mile. They're going to do the punch list for us. Then they're actually going to go out and mark it on the pavement. And in addition, they've agreed to attend a mandatory pre-bid conference to where we'll walk the bidders through it. So, and as you heard Mr. Harrell say, they've also agreed that they will do the final inspection on it. So I think we've worked through all of the issues on that. I think that's the best way to go with it. We're very pleased with the resolution we came to on that. And so they will be, these bidders will be people they have done work with before. They have to be on their approved list.
Okay. And what the last thing? Mr. Mayo alluded to comments that our good friend, the gentleman that spoke in the public comment section made, and he alluded to, I just listened, he alluded to a lot of things to include future sewer situations and so on, not to throw a fly in the ointment, but after we get the roads corrected down the road, what impact would going to a broad sewer system have on the great work that would have been done for the roads? I mean, if you start laying pipe and things, you start digging lines and so forth. That's just a thought. It sort of popped in my head because of the comments the gentleman made about future needs and so forth.
Well, that would be a lengthy discussion, and there's a lot of...
Yes, and we will move on from that. Commissioner Pate.
I just want clarification, because I sat in that meeting over Wilson too. It's not just the final inspection, they'll be there expecting it all along, so there are no surprises.
Yeah.
At the end, I just want to make sure
That's
that
right.
he knew that. Because that's pretty important, because, they show up and bid it on out, and then they don't show up till it's over, and then say, we all did this wrong. They can be there the entire time, say, this is how this work is supposed to be done. So I just want to make sure that was clarified.
Okay, Commissioner Mayo, if you'll restate your motion.
Yes, I make a motion to approve preliminary assessment resolution for Canterbury Village and North Creek subdivisions, Wayne County, North Carolina.
Okay. You've heard the motion that's on the floor. We've had discussion. Is there, if there's not any further discussion, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. And that is a unanimous vote, and we're moving forward. Item 5, a motion to approve the purchase agreement of the hangar at Wayne Executive Jetport. Thank you, Mr. Harrell.
Thank you, Commissioners. As we went over in the 8 o'clock session several months back, you approved a budget amendment for Eastern Region funds to be used for capital acquisition at the airport. This is the final action item that we need from the Board of Commissioners to close this transaction, and this is to approve the purchase agreement between the county and Mr. Sassman. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Yes, Commissioner.
A motion to approve the purchase agreement with Hangar at Wayne Executive Jetport.
Any discussion on the motion? Being none, all those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That passes unanimously.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Now, item 6 and the addition of 7, the chairman will be making an appointment of a working group to interview for construction manager at Risk Services for the Wayne Regional Agricultural and Convention Center. It's my understanding that we have sent out an RFQ, is that correct?
That's right. The RFQs went out before Christmas, and I believe they're due back in on the 12th. So a week from today, we should have those back in, so then we're ready for the working group to start the review process.
All right, so I'll be appointing that working group very shortly so that they can actually, on the 12th or 14th or soon thereafter, we'll be having their first meeting.
That's right.
The second appointment is in fact the appointments of a working group to review and make recommendations to the full board for the ordinance on our NORS ordinance, our junk car ordinance, and our housing codes, to review those and make recommendations back. This was a goal of this board that was established, and we will be making that appointment and hopefully getting that working group working shortly. Additionally, I'm pleased to announce the appointment of Barbara Aycock to the Wayne County Development Alliance. She brings a great deal to the board, not only that she will be our first female on our board, which is greatly needed, spruce us up a little bit, but additionally, she has a wide experience in local industry and government management. We want to thank Commissioner Aycock for his past contributions to the WCDA, and welcome Barbara as one of the 3 county representatives on the Wayne County WCDA board. Okay, we have completed those items. We'll move now to the county manager's comments.
I just have a couple in the interest of time, because I know we've got some things we've got to do today around lunchtime. First of all, I'd like to announce that I've hired Angie Boswell as our new Assistant Finance Director. Angie's no stranger to y'all. She's been working in the Finance Department. Prior to that, she's been with the State Employees Credit Union. And as y'all know, Allison was promoted to the Finance Director position effective January 1. And so we needed to backfill her position as Assistant Finance Director. And so we've made that appointment of Angie Boswell for that. And yeah, Angie, you want to stand up? I think everybody knows who you are. But we're and I'm confident she'll do a great job for us. The only other thing I wanted to mention is obviously we're starting the budget process, and I did meet with Dr. Dunsmore on another matter as well as the budget and capital plan yesterday, and we had a very good discussion, and also met his new finance director. So we'll be getting together shortly on their capital plan. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, now Commissioner comments. Commissioner Bell.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a report today, but I would like to yield my 2 minutes to any talkative commissioner this morning.
Thank you. Commissioner Aycock.
I have very little too. It's a new year. We're going to see Wayne County move forward just like we have in the past. A few things I don't understand, but the decisions have been made. And I may not agree with them, but we're going to move forward. Wayne County is going to be just as productive this year as it's been in the past, and I will give the rest of my time to someone else.
Commissioner Mayo.
Believe it or not, I'm going to yield my time to someone else today.
Commissioner Carney.
Well, if I'm counting right, I might have about 7 or 8 minutes. No, I want to thank our chairman for looking at all of our committee assignments and moving us around. Sometimes we will get in, I won't use the word rut, but we will get in a path of going to the same committees all the time and not seeing a broad-based section of all of our employees. And so, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought you did a good job of just reshuffling the deck. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gordon.
Happy New Year to all, and congratulations to Angie Boswell. You'll do a fine job, I know you will.
Commissioner Payne.
Mine's a little more somber. I had sort of a tough Christmas, lost my father-in-law, and I want to thank everyone for all your wishes. And the flowers were just beautiful. And then I lost a good friend in the last couple of days I grew up with. It lets you know tomorrow's not promised to anybody, so make sure you hold on to your friends and your family while you can. Thank you.
It looks like I'm going to take up those minutes. Today I want to begin a new tradition of giving an annual State of the County report to the citizens of Wayne County. This need not be a lengthy report, but we should outline some of the highlights of the condition of our county. The most significant highlight of 2015 was the completion and the opening of 2 newly constructed high-technology middle schools in Wayne County. These were the first schools built in our county in decades. This success was accomplished by a new spirit of cooperation within Wayne County. In 2015, commissioners also publicly supported the funding of the Advanced Manufacturing Center. This is another joint project with Wayne County, Wayne Community College, the Wayne County Development Alliance. This project will soon pay dividends by providing 21st century training for 21st century jobs. We witnessed the groundbreaking of the Carrier Winders Detention Center. We saw great strides in moving the Regional Agricultural and Convention Center closer to reality. We thank the City of Goldsboro, Wayne Community College, and many others for their contributions on this high-profile project. After only a few years of a collaborative effort, we see Wayne County Highways 70 and 117 being designated as future interstate highways. Nothing could be more important to the growth of our county and eastern North Carolina. More on that in the very near future. Wayne County has continued to invest in improvements in its infrastructure, technology, and its county-owned buildings. We saw the implementation of a street improvement policy outlining a procedure to allow property owners within subdivisions to have their street maintenance assumed by NCDOT. Some of the goals for the upcoming year include selecting a construction manager at risk, the groundbreaking and construction beginning on the Agricultural Convention Center, the construction or the renovation for a new 911 center, the development of a marketing plan for Wayne County, review of possible modifications to existing ordinances, the completion and opening of a new bypass in late spring, the completion of a space needs study which is desperately needed in our county, the completion and the opening of the Carrier Winders Detention Center, study to implement programs to bring wireless internet access to the underserved areas of Wayne County, which is desperately something that Commissioner Pate is looking forward to. In closing, I am pleased to state that 2015 was a fantastic year. Wayne County is financially sound and living within its means. Wayne County can be proud that your Board of Commissioners and its management team has maintained a strong financial position. We have many needs, but with strong financial planning and sound decisions, we can meet those needs. We have seen property tax rates reduced to a 65-cent tax rate with a healthy fund balance. For comparison's sake, Johnson County has a 78-cent tax rate. That's 20% higher than ours. For 2016, we need to continue to focus on improving economic development. The quality of life features need to be accentuated, reducing spending and regulations where possible, maintaining a low tax rate, support for our local education partners, and public safety. Although there are many challenges ahead, we look forward to an exciting 2016. Thank you. Are there any other comments? Being none, I entertain a motion that we adjourn. A number of motions. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Thank you. We adjourn.
This has been a presentation by Wayne Goldsboro Television of the meeting of the Wayne County Board of Commissioners. Wayne County Commissioners meet the first and third Tuesday of each month in the Commissioners' Meeting Room on the 4th floor of the Wayne County Courthouse at 224 East Walnut Street in Goldsboro, North Carolina. For more information, the County of Wayne is online at www.waynegov.com. The mailing address is Post Office Box 227, Goldsboro, North Carolina 27533.